Hello there, boys and girls. Please make yourselves comfortable because you have just found yourself in a classroom of the Eccentric Academy. My name is Cademan David, or as Captain Jack Hartness might call me, Mr. Cow. So grab your gas masks and hang on to a passing blimp because today we are reviewing the Doctor Who episode, The Empty Child. Let's go! Okay guys, so this is maybe the second best episode in all of season 1. It goes Dalek as number 1, and then this is the next best episode of this season. This episode for me is one of the genre-defining episodes of Doctor Who. This is what I want to see. This type of episode where, it's creepy, but also very fun at the same time. This is easily one of the best episodes of the season. I already said I think it's the second best. I love when the Doctor's phone starts ringing and he responds like this.
How can you be ringing? What's that about, ringing? What am I supposed to do with a ringing phone?
Which is also my response when my phone starts ringing and I don't recognize the caller ID. It's also kind of funny because later on in the Matt Smith era, this phone is a real phone. So it's kind of funny that the Doctor says it's not. Though, to be fair, Matt Smith's phone that's inside his TARDIS looks very different than this phone. And in case anyone's going to try and argue with me, saying that there's a phone inside the TARDIS, but this is a fake phone outside the TARDIS, that's like inside the box in the door. Matt Smith, in some of his episodes, he has a phone inside the box in his door that functions as a phone. So, just clearing that all up. I find it funny because Matt Smith has a phone right there that does function as a phone, but yet here, Eccleston says it's not a real phone. That's all I'm saying. It amuses me. This is also the episode that introduces Captain Jack, who's one of my favorite Doctor Who characters. And I kind of wish that we would have more time with him on the show. Now, I know that Captain Jack did get basically his own spin-off, but after the barely closed Cyberwoman, I kind of figured out Torchwood just wasn't really for me. But with what I saw of Torchwood, Captain Jack is still amazing in it. And, of course, John Barrowman is great in everything I've seen him in. And also, he got in a little bit of trouble recently, which I think is kind of unfair. But I'll let you look into that. I don't think what he did was worthy of getting him canceled, although I also think the entire situation kind of shows just the weirdness of movie making. It can kind of point to that. With that being said, I don't want to get into that whole topic. Maybe that's a topic for a later video. I don't know. I try and keep this channel mostly family friendly, so I don't want to dive into it too much. The moment where the Doctor shows up at the homeless kids' meal and starts eating with them is brilliant.
One slice each, and I want to see everybody chewing properly.
Thank you, miss. Thanks, miss. Thank you, miss.
Thanks, miss.
It's all right. Everybody stay where they are.
Good here, innit? Who's got the salt?
The Empty Child himself is a really great monster concept, I think. Those World War II gas masks just look really cool to me, in part just because World War II is like an interesting time period for me. But yeah, I like the idea of the Empty Child, and he's exactly the kind of thing that it makes sense in my head for the Doctor to be up against. Now, it's kind of interesting that Captain Jack has psychic paper.
Who are you supposed to be then?
Captain Jack Harkness, 133 Squadron, Royal Air Force, American Volunteer.
Liar. This is psychic paper.
Because in my head, psychic paper is kind of a Time Lord thing, or like a just the Doctor thing, but I guess not, because Captain Jack has it. I don't know, it would be interesting to look in other episodes and see if anyone else has psychic paper throughout the show's history. Because I don't know if anyone else does. I think there is other characters that are aware of psychic paper, but I don't know if you know the answer to that, like who all uses psychic paper in Doctor Who episodes. Leave that in the comments, because I would be interested to know. Now, I like the idea of the nanobots that, sort of cause the whole situation. I like the way that they're set up earlier in the episode, and we learn later on that they're actually tied in to more. And I like that. I think that's cool. Now, with that being said, there is things about like the nanobots and all that doesn't quite work for me, but that's something I'll talk more about probably in next week's episode. And the part where the Doctor claims that his nose has special powers is very funny to me. The Ninth Doctor is just very goofy in like almost like a grandpa being goofy sort of way. I don't know how to explain it, but like he's just like sort of funny in a really weird way.
I'm good at following me. Got the nose for it.
People can't usually follow me if I don't want them to.
My nose has special powers.
Yeah? That why it's so.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. Jews have special powers too.
What are you trying to say?
But he's, and he's that's very charming. His character is very charming. And I think I've said that a lot, that I really like Christopher Eccleston's Doctor, both the goofy parts and the sort of more serious parts. I think Christopher Eccleston does excellent with both. But I think his goofy parts, he has the best sort of goofy, real Doctor moments in this episode, I think. And also, I love Nancy commenting on his ears, because Christopher Eccleston has very lovely ears, but they are unique. They're very unique ears, and I love them. So it's funny just having Nancy comment on the size of how big his ears are, because that's something that I remember talking a lot about back in the day, was just like how big the Ninth Doctor's ears were. And of course, the War Doctor also has a joke about Eccleston's ears.
I suppose it makes sense. Wearing a bit thin. I hope the ears are a bit less conspicuous this time.
So, I don't know, I just think that's fun. And hopefully Christopher Eccleston also appreciates how so many fans look up to his brilliant large ears. Now, I will say the way Captain Jack interacts with Rose does make me uncomfortable, especially because she's only 19, and that just makes their interactions feel a little bit questionable to me. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like it's a little weird, and I don't particularly like their interactions. Now, you might roll your eyes at me for saying it, but Dr. Constantine's name in this episode made me think a Doctor Who Hellblazer crossover would be pretty rad. Also, another reference to the Doctor at one point being a father and a grandfather.
Before this war began, I was a father and a grandfather. Now I'm neither, but I'm still a doctor.
Yeah. Know the feeling.
Which is something that they tried to undo in the Disney Plus era of this show, but that was lame, so we don't need to talk about it. And also, thank goodness, the Disney Plus era of Doctor Who is over, so now maybe we can get something a little better. You know, I think it's pretty fair to say that the Disney Plus era wasn't good, not for political reasons, at least not just for political reasons, but it's just bad storytelling, I feel. If you like it, you know, good on you. But I did not like it, and I will be looking forward to maybe getting a different direction for the show. And I do have to say, I would not be a good Trekkie if I didn't shout out the references to my boy Spock and say, heard and appreciated. I do like Star Trek and Doctor Who both, and it is fun to hear the Doctor referred to as Spock. Also, it's interesting because this episode was written by Stephen Moffat, who in later episodes really leans into the Doctor having Spock-like powers, like mind-reading powers and stuff. I'm kind of on board with. I don't know. It's a toss-up for me. I'm not sure if I like the Doctor having Vulcan powers. But Stephen Moffat definitely seems to believe that the Doctor has Vulcan powers. So it's funny he calls him Spock here. And I know I basically said the same thing about Aliens of London, but I love the cliffhanger here. It just reminds me of classic Who, and how whenever the episode kind of starts to come to an end, they sort of just scramble for a way to get the Doctor in trouble, you know? And I don't know, I guess I just really like cliffhangers generally in these two-parters, and it's fun. What? Huh? But how is this ringing? It's not even a phone, it's a TV remote. Hello?
Are you my mummy?
Come back next week for the conclusion. And you might roll my eye.